What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here from Data Dash, and today is July 14th of 2023. Well, folks, I hope you all are having a fantastic day wherever you are, because in today's video, I want to spend some time to talk about the big developments we've had over the last 24 hours in the crypto market. I not only want to talk about Bitcoin setting in slightly higher levels from the consistent resistance range we faced since back in April, but on top of that as well, we've got to talk about the case between XRP or Ripple and the SEC. This case has been dragging on for a long time, and the resolution led XRP's price to moving up quite substantially over the last 24 hours, reclaiming its spot as the third largest cryptocurrency. So I want to spend some time to break this down and talk about what it all means for the market, trying to find a non-biased viewpoint towards what this really means for crypto and more particularly altcoins. And outside of that as well, we've partnered with XCAD Network to do a really exciting review of its platform that's helping a lot of people engage into what it calls watch to earn, where you can earn while watching content creators in the cryptocurrency space. Some people are earning some pretty serious money in the native token play, so definitely check that later on in the video. All right, let's go ahead and kick things off, guys. I want to start here by just talking a little bit here around Bitcoin's price. The big point I want to emphasize here, and I'll kind of come back to price as we go through the conversation, is that this news, again, is quite optimistic news for the crypto space, at least for some partial degree of it. But there's also another key element here that I think explains why Bitcoin did not just completely break through this resistance range. I mean, we popped up here, but to be honest with you guys, a 3.5% move in Bitcoin, and I would even say this to the downside, is just okay. And this is again kind of playing into some of my concerns. I would love today or tomorrow to see continued follow through in clearing through this general resistance range that used to be prior support. That is what Bitcoin needs to do now. And you guys know I've generally been more on the bearish side of things. I'll not hide it. If it clears through there, we've got to really start to reassess our position. And I'll be honest in admitting if we get it wrong, right? But the key thing here is that, again, so far, we're pretty much in the same exact price range, facing the same kind of resistance we've been facing for the past few months. This is continuing to prove itself to be a supply zone, not a demand zone, i.e. it's serving as resistance versus support. That's at least the case right now. That could change here in the next couple of days. We'll have to see if there's going to be more follow through. But let's go ahead and talk about the nuance that is not being talked about around the XRP case. I mean, if you just take a look at the price action, I mean, it feels like we're in a new bull market. Yesterday, we saw a 72% move in XRP. While a lot of other altcoins maybe saw, single-digit increases, some saw double-digit increases for the day, this move in XRP was the biggest move we've seen in XRP's price since as far back as December of 2017. And I know this has got a lot of people feeling the itch of FOMO. I mean, honestly, when you see these kind of moves, you can't help but feel that a little bit, right? So I want to go ahead and spend some time here to talk about this case with the SEC. And the reason why XRP moved up like this is that the headlines basically claimed or proclaimed that essentially XRP was deemed not a security. And it is almost seen at this point that if XRP essentially was not deemed a security, really a project, mind you, that unloads hundreds of millions of dollars worth of XRP on a given quarter to fund financial operations. I'm not going to get into it and try to bag on XRP. There are a lot of other projects doing what XRP does, and not really using all of it towards funding research and development for the protocol. That all being said, I'm not here to bash on XRP particularly. What a lot of people interpreted though, and this is why the price action is moving up and why altcoins subsequently moved up higher as well, is that if XRP is not deemed a security, then this gives a huge blanket of coverage for a whole range of altcoins, for listings, for operating and continuing to operate functionally and not have to deal with potential lawsuits or fines from the SEC. That is the narrative that is getting shared around right now. And while that is partially true, it does not mean that XRP is not a security. That is a false claim to make at this point, guys. As much as the court ruling and the headlines is being promoted as that, That is not the case. You need to understand the nuance and read into the articles. And CoinDesk put together a great article here talking about the two separate claims that the court made. The first one here, in protection of XRP from the SEC's claims, is that essentially when it was unloading sale of XRP onto the market, this did not account as a sale of securities. So essentially a secondary sell, like once XRP has been trading on the market, right, for some time and it's listed on Binance and Coinbase, they sell XRP on the market, right? Whereas other people might be buying, selling, and kind of trading. They're distributing or selling portions of XRP that they have on their balance sheet, Ripple Labs. And essentially, the SEC was partially claiming that that was a sale of securities, right? You're unloading these large positions and funding salaries. It's kind of like selling shares. That's at least the claim from the SEC. And whether or not you agree or disagree with that, the court at the end of the day in New York claimed that that was not a sale of securities, okay? So that's the win for XRP. And that definitely does give some protection for projects who may use their governance token out there, plays like Chainlink, plays like Uni, all these big VC-owned or large kind of whale-owned coins, and also the team has their tokens as well, who may unload or distribute that to cover costs, right? So that was not seen as a security. However, the point that everyone is missing here is that essentially the court did, however, rule that Ripple's direct sale of XRP initially worth $700 million to private institutions, hedge funds, and other parties did violate securities law. That essentially that they did a securities offering. Now, I want to go ahead and talk about the importance of this here, which is that it means two things. One, people are saying like, what does this mean for the financial cost of XRP? Like, aren't they going to face huge legal fees if this claim is true? Like, can the SEC go after them for a large amount of money? I would say at the end of the day, as always, this is the thing that you are least concerned about. It's a slap on the wrist. It's a temporary kind of penalty. You pay some kind of fine when in reality you raised much more, right? In the end, it's worth paying the SEC fine and you go about your day. EOS did this, so many other projects did this over the last couple of years, right? The bigger concern here is that all the exchanges that are now starting to relist Ripple's XRP token may start to backtrack on that decision. I know that Gemini, Crypto.com have started to take a more positive tone to potentially listing these. I think it's a bit premature because if there is still a violation of securities law here and that XRP can still be deemed as a security, then that is a really bad misstep here. I'll go ahead and read the quote here. This is a quote here from CoinShares head of product Townsend Lansing. He said, "The court has found Ripple to be in violation of securities law, specifically in relation to direct sales to institutional investors, and as such, XRP is not only deemed a security, but questions have arisen regarding the legality of its offering. In regard to these sales, the court has confirmed that the law was indeed violated, marking a considerable victory for the Securities and Exchange Commission in setting a precedent for its legal actions against other cryptocurrencies." This is where the problem lies, because if essentially XRP violated securities law and the court ruled that it did violate securities law by offering an initial token offering, this means that practically any cryptocurrency, in the same way that people thought the SEC lost this case and that every cryptocurrency is protected, in reality, it may mean that the SEC has jurisdiction to claim that every single token offering that is sort of in line with what XRP offered by raising capital and issuing a virtual cryptocurrency token could be in violation of securities law. And not only are they potentially going to face the slap on the wrist kind of fine that you may already have to pay, which is already bad enough as is for a lot of smaller altcoins, but the problem here is that essentially this could mean that these tokens need to be delisted from token exchanges that do not have securities licenses. That is from exchanges all the way from Binance to Coinbase to Kraken, you name it. And this is why I encourage you guys not to fall into the FOMO, not to just chase XRP's price moves. XRP is infamous for utilizing market makers that essentially allow for enormous accelerations in price, where they then distribute and slowly sell off month by month, year by year. XRP is known for this. They worked with a lot of large market makers, many of which I won't name here, but essentially speaking, this has been the case since 2017. And they make hundreds of millions of dollars unloading XRP. You can go take a look at the quarterly reports. They certainly don't promote that through their various Twitter bots, the various different types of YouTube accounts that promote XRP. Hate to say it, whether you like XRP or not, whether you like Ripple Labs technology to transact cross-border and potentially compete with Swift, I have no problem with those technologies. But to be honest, at the end of the day, guys, there is a very good case to say that XRP has definitely pushed the boundaries, so to speak, in legality terms when it comes to creating a cryptocurrency, issuing it, raising capital, distributing out tokens onto the market. That is not some fallacy. That is a reality. So I again want to make it very clear here that while this move has played out, don't be surprised if it doesn't continue from this point and in fact starts to contract. I think Bitcoin's price action here is one of the biggest giveaways here that this case may not be such a slam dunk as the headlines were eager to rush towards announcing it. Everyone's so eager to get the news out first. If you guys watch us here in this channel, we try to stick to our schedule Monday, Wednesday, Friday, because it takes time to digest the news and try to understand whether or not it's really substantial. And from what I can see, guys, I don't know if this is really the kind of altcoin catalyst that many people are claiming it's going to be. Now, it certainly did give us a jump here over the last couple of hours, a 9.2% move in altcoins, bringing us back to where we were back in May and pretty much recovering the losses from May down towards here in June. That being said, will this continue? I come here to the weekly time frame and I see that we've got an expanding funnel here where either we're likely going to come up and test $800 billion by sometime in late August, early September, or we're going to come down here towards the lows in August, new potential lows in altcoins, setting in for a third lower level in this cycle, continuing the thesis that we may be in a bear market. Now, I understand that if I ask you that question, many of you are likely going to have an opinion in one way or another. And you guys know that we usually lean in the more bearish camp here. But I want to go ahead and show you guys the simple metric you need to track to know whether or not over the next coming days and weeks are we more likely to go towards one direction or the other. Now, if we see the price action of XRP, you would expect that the market is feeling massive FOMO right now, that liquidity is surging into the crypto space to buy altcoin positions. Well, over the last 24 hours here, in fact, over the last week, we can see here that in USDC, there has been no substantial move. Over the last 24 hours, we had $177 million of USDC. Sounds like a lot, right, being created. But in reality, this just takes us back to where we were on July 11th, 2023. In fact, we had much bigger accelerations here in February or back here in November 2022. So nothing popping up here in US markets as Coinbase and many other exchanges either have already or plan to relist XRP. Okay, so USDC hasn't shown up, but what about Tether, right? I mean, come on, maybe Tether is showing up to the plate here with some huge capital acceleration. Well, we've been relatively flat since back in June, right? There are no barriers for capital moving into Tether. I understand some people say, but Nick, on USDC, that's not fair. Silvergate and all of these major crypto banks and SVB, maybe they're the cause for why USDC is not accelerating. Well, Tether takes international money. It can take money from anywhere in the world. And what happened yesterday? $41 million of Tether issued, not even piercing through the highs or relative highs back in June. Wow. Could it be that the XRP move we saw right now was exacerbated off of people trading on the headline, and not to mention that we're in a relatively thin order book market where market makers have gone to die in crypto? Jane Street, Jump, all these major, kind of market makers that provided liquidity on the order books, they have stepped out of the space. And that's allowed for some pretty substantial moves to the upside here in the near term. It could very well likely mean that we see the same kind of follow through to the downside once there's not enough buy side pressure, once the news becomes clear. This is the ultimate point to understand, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I have my perspective on this, right? We have our cards placed one way or another. But I have to be honest with you guys, to not see a surge of stablecoin liquidity off this, what so many people see is, I think, to be honest, one of the more convincing points that we are in a new bull market and liquidity isn't showing up to the plate? What gives? Why isn't this the case, right? Again, I understand some people might be skeptical about using USDC as a metric, being in the US. I get that. Tether, on the other hand, what's happening, man? Like this is for me what makes me feel like an itch to be very cautious about any approach in the crypto market, guys. When I see Bitcoin just hanging by a thread around this resistance range, trying to get above it, but struggling every time, that gets me concerned. Now, at the end of the day, if you guys had positions in XRP, hats off to you guys if you made these returns. But it's important to note that taking profits along the way, protecting those gains, locking them in, is not always a bad step. Especially if your goal is to hedge against inflation or protect your purchasing power. When you get these kind of moves, sometimes it's best to take your chips off the table. I'm going to let you guys make that decision. I'm going to let you interpret things how you want from this, guys. But I'm going to continue to follow this story and so much more here as we continue to get more developments around this. And I'm curious to see what you guys think about this, kind of reading here. Do you feel like the market is jumping the gun here, or do you feel like it's time to really get long and start taking more risk? Curious to hear what you guys think down below. And if you guys enjoyed the core part of this video, consider dropping a like. But let's go ahead and dive into this review of XCAD Network. Alright everyone, so in today's sponsor review, I want to spend some time to talk about a really interesting platform in the crypto space that's focused on giving you ways to earn while you watch some of your favorite content creators across YouTube. Today we're talking about none other than XCAD Network. Now for those of you who are hearing about XCAD for the first time, they've been around over the last 2 years and have been focused on creating engaging ways to be able to interact with content creators more in depth and be able to earn as well from your viewership of various content pieces. Now originally back 2 years ago, XCAD focused in on the idea of fan tokens, something that I think a lot of people wanted to see in the crypto space, and garnered support from large names like Mr. Beast and KSI as early stage investors in the project. But along with that as well, they've built up a huge network of content creators with a subscriber base of over 600 million subscribers. So chances are that you're likely going to find 2 or 3 or more channels that you already watch that are a part of the XCAD network. So I want to spend some time today in today's video to discuss how you can earn from watching various content creators on the YouTube platform. I want to spend some time to talk about the important details such as what you need to do in order to set up an account, understanding some of the important in-depth caveats when participating within the XCAD ecosystem, and last but not least as well, how you can maximize your yield on watching various content pieces from your favorite content creators. So without further ado, let's go ahead and kick things off. So to kick things off, it's important to understand here that the new focus for XCAD is on its watch to earn model. This is focused on allowing you to earn passively while you watch your favorite content creators. And I think there's definitely some merit to this, as play to earn was a huge trend in the crypto space. So it'll be really interesting to see whether or not XCAD can be able to pull off a similar level of success to similar projects like Axie Infinity and many other plays in the space that were able to garner huge communities and participation in the ecosystem. But I want to go ahead and talk about how you can engage with this. The first thing you're going to need to do is head over to the XCAD Network website, which I'll leave linked down below in the description, and click on the download button, which is going to take you towards downloading the Chrome Web Store extension, either on Chrome or on the Play Store. It's important to note as well that if you guys are interested in getting access to XCAD on mobile, it is going to be soon available on iOS and Android as well. But for now, we're going to go ahead today and utilize the Chrome Web Store extension, which we can go ahead and click on here, and we're going to go ahead and add it to our browser. And just like that, we've got the browser extension added in just a matter of a couple of seconds, and this will allow us to go forward in creating our account on XCAD Network. So in order to get started, we're going to go ahead and click on the XCAD plugin in the top right hand corner of our screen and click on the sign up button. Now from here, we're going to go ahead and input various data points such as an email, a username, a password, repeating the password, and of course accept the terms of service and register our account. Luckily, this process is relatively intuitive, and I've already got my account set up on XCAD, so we'll go ahead and progress to the next step. But once you've set up an account, you will need an access code when registering for your account. I highly recommend you guys check out the one I've got down below in the description. It'll streamline the process for you guys and allow you to get access towards XCAD. So now that we've got the plugin installed and our account registered, we're going to go ahead and click on the play button here on the bottom hand bar of the extension. And this is going to take us through the step-by-step process so we can begin earning on viewing videos. The first thing we have to do though is pick a box. This is going to allow us to mint a nerd, or the staple NFT of the XCAD network. You will need a nerd in order to start earning from your viewership. And this is kind of the upfront cost to be able to earn on various YouTube videos that you watch. Now, it's important to understand that there's varying degrees of cost entry towards getting these different NFTs, and also differing degrees of earning potential. If you go for the kind of more low cost entry, the common nerd, you'll essentially have a lower cost towards entry and likely a lower potential earning rate. However, if you do happen to pick one of the rare nerds, you have a chance to get much higher degree of earning potential within the ecosystem, especially for those of you who are watching videos much more frequently. However, if you are looking for something that can essentially give you a bit of a chance towards getting that rare NFT at a more affordable price, there is of course the mystery box as well, which will give you a 50-50 chance of either getting a common or rare NFT. This is the kind of upfront cost to be able to participate in the ecosystem, but what I have to say I like about it though is that generally speaking, there's so many PFP NFTs out there where there's really no utility to them. So I think if you're interested in the NFT ecosystem, this is definitely something where you're not only getting a pretty cool design nerd that's custom and unique, but outside of that as well is something that's going to allow you to earn while you watch a whole range of content creators. So generally speaking, in order to do this, we're going to have to top up our account with a specific amount of BNB in order to make the purchase. You can do so by depositing into the wallet address through a credit card or with BNB directly into the address, as the network itself and the wallet is built around Binance Smart Chain. So today we're going to go ahead and mint a mystery box and see what we get. Let's go ahead and click on prepare box, calculate transaction fee, and as we can see, we have the appropriate amount of BNB to pay for this fee, so we'll go ahead and click confirm. And in just a few moments, our nerd should be generated so we can see what kind of traits it has and what earning potential we'll have within the XCAD ecosystem. Okay, it looks like our minting is complete, so we're gonna go ahead and close on this and take a look at some of the stats for our nerd. All right, it looks like our NFT nerd has been generated, and the good news is we got a rare NFT, which is awesome. However, it seems like our reputation is only 6 out of 10, so it's definitely in the lower end for the rare ones. Some of them that are 7, 8, or 9 can generate a higher yield. And for the other statistics, we've also got a 6 out of 10 for stamina, a 5 out of 10 for speed, and a 5 out of 7 for luck. So generally speaking, these are okay traits for a rare NFT. Nonetheless though, it will allow us to start earning once we go ahead and activate the NFT. So we're gonna click on the play and earn now button, activate the NFT, and we'll go ahead and click accept. And just like that, we have our NFT activated and we can begin earning on watching a whole range of different content creators on YouTube. By simply coming down here towards the play icon on the bottom hand bar and scrolling down on the play page, we can see just how many content creators are within the XCAD network that can allow us to start earning while watching their videos. And for me, this is really cool. Not only is there such a wide range of content creators from various formats such as musicians, gamers, comedians, but there's also a lot of content creators I'm already familiar with and already watch, like comedians such as Caleb City, who makes really funny skits, and I watch practically every upload that he puts out. Along with that as well, people like 3 Blue 1 Brown, which puts out really great educational and mathematical content, and also as well Let's Players such as Let's Game It Out. There's all types of different people here and many channels that I didn't even get to name that I personally like to watch, whether it be from time to time or on a really frequent basis. So you're not really pigeonholed into supporting a small group of content creators, which I have to say is probably one of XCAD's biggest strengths, the network effect that it's been able to build that can allow it to really gain traction long term and really take this kind of watch to earn concept much further than it currently is. So there's, I think, a lot of growth potential here if the idea continues to hold up and the network continues to grow, especially when it comes to the content. Now, one really great thing about the XCAD network platform is that through the extension in the top right hand corner, it will let us know if it's picking up that we're watching the content from our favorite content creator to make sure that we know that the video is being counted within our earnings. Now, it's important to bring your attention here towards the section reward summary. This is where we're essentially getting our earnings on our nerd NFT, and we can track this on a day-to-day basis. So I'm gonna go ahead and watch some videos. You can watch up to 5 per day where you're actually able to earn on your NFT. And I'm gonna come back here after we've watched some content and see just how much we've earned from our rare NFT to see just how much we can make on a day-to-day basis. It is important to note though, it will vary for everyone, but let's go ahead and see what it'll look like for my NFT personally. So taking a look here at the XCAD network extension, we can see that it registered my 5 watches yesterday, watching some of my favorite content creators within the XCAD network, and I was able to earn 550 play tokens worth roughly around $41.50. And that's really not too bad, because considering the upfront cost that I had to put into the NFT, where I not only get this nice customized nerd NFT that's mine, but on top of that, within a matter of 30 days, I'd be able to pay back the initial cost. Now, it is important to note here that it will probably be a little bit longer because there are repair costs on your NFT to continue participating in the XCAD network. But generally speaking, within roughly about 45 to 60 days maximum, you'd probably get to the point where from there on out, you're just earning on your NFT. And it's important to note that you can sell your NFT at any point. You can do so from within the XCAD network. It's relatively simple to do so. So I definitely recommend you guys take a look into this, because for me personally, I think there's maybe some merit here to this concept of the watch to earn concept. But most importantly here, it's a way where if you're kind of a YouTube junkie like myself, you love YouTube as a platform, you love watching great content creators, it's a way where essentially you can long-term earn on top of that, earning in cryptocurrency. And it's important to note as well that there are going to be more features that they're going to be adding for your nerd NFTs. They're going to have NFT battles soon for nerds where you can compete from one nerd to another. So there'll be all types of interesting features and concepts. I think as we've seen already from XCAD as a project, they started off with the concept of fan tokens, which was really quite interesting, and I think a lot of people wanted to see in the crypto space for some time. They continued to listen to their audience by building this earn product where you can actually earn within the crypto space by watching YouTube content creators that you already watch and enjoy. And on top of that as well, they're going to build other types of features to kind of build around this concept of watch to earn. One big thing for me as well that I really like is that XCAD is also not just focusing on farming views. In this case, they not only have really great content creators, but they require that you watch 80% of the video, which is so imperative for content creators like myself. So that's where it hits home really close for me, where again, watch time is really dominant and important in the YouTube algorithm. And so far, it seems like the project has been seeing a lot of traction over the past couple of weeks, with over $180,000 worth of tokens being removed or burned from the supply. And along with that, just the other day reaching the milestone of 5,000 unique mints when it comes to the amount of nerds on the XCAD network. There's also been a lot of individual success stories where people have netted some pretty solid returns on the protocol, with some people running up to as much as 5 unique nerd NFTs, earning up to $200 a day. But above all, guys, I think this is a really interesting concept overall. I'm curious to hear what you guys think about it down below in the comments. But I'll leave a link down below in the description where you guys can learn more about XCAD and see how you can participate within the ecosystem. Let me know if you have any thoughts down below. But until the next video, everyone, I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everyone.